Hi, good morning. This is Scott Fortunoff. I'm here in Greenville, South Carolina, and today I'm here to show you the October 2019 collections. There are 17 collections in this release, and they're shipping anywhere from March to June of 2020. Aziza by Jackie Decker is a new collection. Jackie did Loca Linda, which was a very popular line and had a similar feel. Just really a big play on color and cutting these designs up. You know, they're all really tonal, so these look like little kind of flowers spraying out, and then you have this little like wavy stripe, some circles, so it's very geometric and also very colorful. Then you have these bigger flowers, and then down below you have the green and blue, kind of like a blender, and then again on the background you have the flowers that look like they're kind of spraying, and then we have some offset square shapes, and then a very colorful flower again on the bottom. And then we have a white ground larger floral on my left, and then we have the tonal blender on purple. And then finally, all the way on the left, we don't normally do this, have so many basics on a card, because we usually find that they cannibalize one another. But this basic we really love and thought could really make it, and it really makes this collection great. So it's a tonal blender, and you have a blue, a lime green, a fuchsia, orange, another green, a darker green, and a purple. And then on the back, we have a project, and this project is a piece quilt, and this one is 64 by 74, really fun. This card is not a finished card, but the finished card will, of course, have some other things on the back, information about the designer, and then we also put in a bunch of coordinates that go well with this line. We have Jot Dot, some great colors that go with it, Urban Legend, Starlit. On the 108 level, we have Radiance, Prismatic, Baroque, and Urban Legend. And, you know, listen, it's just a fun, colorful line, and any of our bright basics would make a good addition to this collection. So this is Aziza by Jackie Decker. And the last thing I want to mention, we started putting on the pre-cut information right on the front. So you could see here it says available as fat quarter bundles and 2.5-inch strips. And there's the code that you need to write on your order to put that in. So that is Aziza. Barn Dance is a new collection by Missy Carpenter, and this is of her typical look, which is just small, primitive color, basics, little ditsies, a range of creams, some greens, some smoky blues, a autumn colors, little rust, and then we have some other ones over here. We have the beiges, browns, some burgundy reds, and some grays. So in this collection, there are 24 different SKUs. This one ships in May of 2020. And then, of course, on the back, we have a lovely quilt project. And this one is 8.5 by 8.5. And this project uses the Fat Quarter Bundle, which you could see again, we put right here, Fat Quarter Bundle Barn Dance. Orders must be placed by 3/1. So in order to get this, you need to place your order in a timely fashion so we could have it made and shipped out appropriately. So that's Barn Dance by Missy Carpenter. Blue Bayou is a house line, so it's done by our in-house team. We've had a lot of success with these blue lines, you know, blues and indigos. This one is a 17 SKU collection, and this one ships in May. And as you could see, this isn't a panel, but we did these hexagon shapes, and it has a 12-inch repeat, and it really kind of ties everything together. And then here you have just an assortment of different prints. I'm not going to talk through them all, but a little ditsies, a little flower, some dots, a larger flower, butterflies, paisleys, some different plants, and then more butterflies and more of the same on different ground colors. So let's see the project. The project here, this one uses the Fat Quarter Bundle, which I'll go back to at the end. And of course, we give you all the kitting instruction here if your customer or the shop wants to kit it. And these are 66 by 66, this quilt. Some nice 108, suggested 108s that go with this line, Urban Legend, Baroque, Prismatic, and Infinity 108. And then again, on the front, we are now putting the pre-cut information right on the front. This one is available in fat quarters and strips, and I imagine it will do well, because this is the perfect thing to buy on a fat quarter or strip bundle. So that is Blue Bayou. This is a house line, and that follows up Once in a Blue Mood. Hope Yoder is back with Boho Bouquet, and she had Mandala Tango and Roses and Arrows. I don't know how I just came up with that, but I did. This is a 14 SKU collection, and this one ships in June. So let's see what we got here. So let's start on the far right. So you have these beautiful roses on a white ground with little black dots, and you have bees. Bees continue to trend up and do really well. We have this lovely pink shaded ground, tonal ground with these gray and white leaves on top of it. We have this white and gray marble look, the black dot on white, and then we have, once again, the bees on some different plants on a blue ground, little hexagon shapes, a small floral, a plaid, and then we have this panel. So this is a 24-inch panel. It's lovely, and it's like little planters hanging down. It almost looks like a chandelier. It's really quite beautiful. And then back here we have the white ground floral, and then we have the viney branches on white and a little bee print on yellow and white. And then finally over here on the far side, we have a 36-inch panel, and this makes an apron. I know customers are always looking for apron ideas, and this is definitely a good one. And you could get it all in the 1-yard panel, and all the information is there to put that together in a proper way. On the back, we have a quilt. This is quilt. This one was designed by Heidi Pridemore. It's 52 by 72, and it uses the panel right in the middle. Then again, we typically have our suggested basics: Urban Legend, Baroque, Infinity, and Sedona Wave. And then we did another quilt project, and this quilt project uses the Fat Quarter bundle, so that's fantastic, really fun quilt. And on the front here, we have the strip and Fat Quarter information for you. If you're a rep and you're writing up an order, these are the codes that you use, and then you'll reference the price list for the prices. So that is Hope Yoder, and that is Boho Bouquet, shipping in April. Ville is a new Halloween collection by Annie Trow. Annie is back, and this one is a 10 SKU collection. April is when we ship our Harvest and Halloween. May is where we ship our Christmas, and June is where we ship our winter theme. So this one is Ville. It's glow in the dark. So we love us some glow in the dark. It's always fun, and I always joke that shops put the glow in the dark fabric in the bathroom, so when you walk in, you can see it glowing. So let's start right up here. We have the glow in the dark blocks. These are 10 by 10 blocks, and they're very fun, bright colored, little ghosts, and not scary. We kind of went with the happy Halloween and less scary. That's not really our thing. So down here on the black ground, we have the ghost, and then on the purple, we have the silhouette of the witch flying with the moon in the background. We have pumpkins on purple, a tossed haunted house and pumpkins, and then here in the middle, we have the 24-inch panel. And as you can see, this pattern is 1031 P for panel and G for glow in the dark. So if you see the G, that signifies glow in the dark. And as you know, we usually charge a little bit of a premium for the glow in the dark. Here we have, these are kind of offset blocks, so you could cut these out. Some of them are more easy to cut out than others, as some do have items that go below the squares. And then on the bottom, we have the moons on top of the black ground. And then we have the pumpkins on white. And then, of course, on the far left, we have this stripe, really fun and colorful stripe. So here, let's look at the projects. So we have this project uses the panel. So we have a panel quilt. This one is 60 by 72. And then we made a trick-or-treat bag. And then we just show you this is the repeat, so you could see the size of the blocks. And then finally, we have some suggested basics. So that's Ville, that's glow in the dark. This one ships in April with all the other Halloween lines that we have. A new basic we're introducing by Blank is called Chameleon. This is a fun one, and of course, so let's see, 20 SKUs. It ships in June, month 6, and it has pre-cuts. These basic lines totally lend themselves to pre-cuts. So this one we're doing in fat quarters only, and you have to order it by 4/1 in order to secure your order. Since this is a basic, we most likely will keep these longer, and the cutoff won't really fall true. We probably will keep these longer and let the reps know so you could continue to sell it or buy it. So here we go. It looks like a blender with kind of a skin in the background, and we run the gamut of colors, the beiges into the grays, into the brights, orange, yellow, red, pinks, purples, blues, darker blues, richer colors, and then into the greens and browns on the far side. So this one is going to come in 10-yard cuts only, which is very nice too. So if your shop owner or your customer wants to buy this, it's great. You could buy 200 yards of the whole collection and get them in 10-yard cuts and replenish them also in 10-yard cuts. So it doesn't take up too much space, but you do have the whole range, and people love that. And then on the back, we have a quilt, and this quilt is 56 by 72, and this one uses the fat quarter bundle. So as you can see, the trend is that we're doing more and more lines that have pre-cuts, and they have a project that you could make using the pre-cuts. We've been getting a lot of requests for that, so we are trying to fulfill it. So there you have it. That one's Chameleon, and again, that one ships in June. December Magic is a new December Magic is a
One more time. Get it in front of you before you start talking.
December Magic is a new Christmas line, and this one is from Emma Leach. This is a 13 SKU collection, and of course Christmas ships in May, so this one will be shipping in May. So let's start here. So on the far right, we start with an advent calendar. This is a 36-inch panel, and this is a great, it's really a great project. And then over here, you have the pockets. So this is on the other side, and so you're going to get this whole piece right here, and that's what it's going to be, 36 inches. So you get the red part and the beige part, and that works great. And then we have the all-over snowmen. Below we have the bells and little poinsettias and pine cones. And then over here we have the trucks. These trucks continue to do great. You see this all over, and this is one trend that has not gone away. More poinsettia and holly, some Christmas wreaths, 3 colors of the urban legend that would work well with this collection. And then on the last page on the far left, we have sleds, the packed snowmen, the Christmas tree ornaments, the Christmas stocking, and 2 colors of the snowflake. On the back, this is a tree skirt. So we're creating a tree skirt that you could make using this fabric, but it is not an engineered tree skirt where you just make it and cut it out. So this one you'll have to put together. And then we have suggested basics, Urban Legend, Sedona, Urban Legend 108, Baroque, and Radiance 108. And that is all we have on that card. This is December Magic by Emma Leach. Giddyup Santa is a new Christmas collection by Tana Mueller of Western Denim and Dirt. This is a 12 SKU collection, and of course it ships in May. Tana is our go-to when it comes to cowboys and rodeos and Western. So here she's doing a Western Santa, and right here on the far right on the top, we have a 36-inch panel with the blocks that are measuring 16 by 16. So those are bigger than most of our blocks regularly are. And then down here we have a little plaid ground with the trucks that have the Christmas trees in the back. Then we have a red ground with the pine trees or Christmas trees. In the middle, or getting more towards the middle, we have the 24-inch panel, which is Santa riding in on a bull, which is very clever and cute. A bias plaid. And then back here, we just have a big all-over scenic of the little town and the town store with Santa and snowmen. And then we move over here, we have blocks. These are 10 by 10 blocks, and they're in a variety of Western Christmas themes. And then below we have the Santas on the white ground, the cowboy boots on red, the horseshoe with Santa, some hats with some Christmas tree lights, and then finally on the far left we have a fun stripe. So let's see what's on the back. So here on the back we have the first quilt, and this one uses the panel in the center, so you have a panel quilt. This one is just showing you the size of the panel, so you could get an idea of how big that is. And then same thing with the blocks. These are the 10 by 10 blocks. And then the stripe, so you know how many rows you're going to get. And that's it. There you have it. That's Giddyup Santa by Tana Mueller of Western Denim and Dirt. Gnoming Through the Snow is a new collection by Hugo Edwin. Gnomes are super hot right now, and hopefully they will remain hot through next year as well, and maybe even longer. This is a 12 SKU collection, and this, with all of our other Christmas lines, ships in May. So let's gnome it out. So here you go. So right up here we have the panel. This is a 24-inch panel, and it's got the gnome in the truck. Again, we continue to use that truck theme, which seems to do very well in shops. We have the red ground with the snowflakes, the pine trees with the little animals, the blue ground snowflakes, the tossed gnomes. And then in the middle here we have another panel. This is a 24-inch panel, really cute, with a little stripe on the top and bottom of little lined up gnomes. And then in the middle it's a skiing and snowboarding and sledding gnome. Then we have an all over with the gnomes playing around. We have a similar one on blue with snowflakes. And then we move over here to the left. We have different size blocks These are varying scaled blocks, and they have all different characters inside. You could cut that out or use it as is. And then on the bottom, again, we have the more packed little gnomes on the blue ground with the snowflake, and then the stripe on the far left, and then the very packed gnomes that are like in a crowd. So let's go to the back. So quilt number 1 uses the panel, the one that's on the far right with the truck. And then the other quilt uses the other full panel that we have. And then on the back, you could just see the layout of those different rectangular and square shapes with the characters inside. And then you could get a feel of what the whole all over looks like on pattern 1104. And finally, we have basics, you know the drill: Urban Legend, Starlit, Baroque, Sedona Wave, Urban Legend 108, and Radiance 108. And that is Gnoming Through the Snow by Hugo Edwin. Harbor Days is a new collection by ColourPop Studio. We continue to sell well with the coastal collections, and this one is lovely and a little bit different than what we typically have. So here we have on the far right, we start off with a 24-inch panel. This is a 12 SKU collection, and this one ships in March. And then we have little blocks, almost like a patchwork with all different kind of coastal themes and nautical themes. We have your sailboats, your lobsters always do well. Down here, it looks like tags or buoys. Those are different buoys. And then we have a town scenic. And then below we have a little toss with anchors and life preservers and little lighthouses. So just a small print toss. Then next to that we have a fish print on blue. And then as you get here to the far left, we have another toss with just a variety of coastal sort of motifs. These would be great in, you know, your summer home or your beach home if you have one. And then we have the boats again, and they're set. And then we have the tossed anchors, and finally a lovely stripe. This one is, you know, it's of the red, white, and blue colors. I wouldn't call it Americana per se, but it has that feel a little bit. And then you have here the first quilt. It is 63 by 83, and it uses the panel right in the center. And that is actually the only quilt. And then you see the fish print, and then finally some basics that go with it. And that is Harbor Days, and that's by ColourPop Studio. Before I talk about this next line, I just want to say that we are not making a statement about marijuana or anything like that. Marijuana is legal in several states in the United States, and it is legal in Canada. And a lot of people were asking for it, so we thought we would do it. But again, we are not making any statements. We are not promoting it or anything like that. We are just selling fabric and seeing if it will be embraced. This is a 6 SKU collection. It ships in June. It's called Urban Sprawl. We're going to print it digitally. On the far right top, we have the 36-inch panel of the marijuana leaf. And then we have the little jars with the cannabis. And then we did the little gummy bears as edibles become popular and people use infused edibles. And then we have the packed leaves, the different marijuana words and types of marijuana. And then we have the joints that form a plaid or a check type of formation. And then we have the just color that goes with the slime. On the back, we did a quilt and a bag. So you have 2 great projects. And this, if this is your thing, this is all you, Urban Sprawl. Behind me, we're using as the backdrop the new Jot Dot collection by Blank Quilting. And the first group of colors, I believe there's 16 colors, are doing extremely well. And we're offering strips and fat quarters with that too. So it's been doing so well, and we've gotten such positive feedback that we decided to add 16 new colors. So these colors will ship in March, and you could see the array. We have grays, light brown, dark brown, rust, green, burgundy, some blues, and then your lights, pinks, bright pink, light purple, bright purple, yellow, blue, green, and turquoise. These are all going to be 15-yard put-ups. That's how we cut the first group, so we have to cut this group the same way. This one is also going to come in fat quarters and strips. 16 new colors. They ship in March. Mayfair 108 by Blank Quilting is our newest 108 line. This is a simple line. We always do really well with these. Like we had the Chloe, and this is just a nice little follow-up. These are 18-yard put-ups, as we always do with our 108 lines, and this is ships in June. So check out the colors. We have the white on white. You know, we go from the lights, cream, a little bit of a darker cream, the darker brown, and then we go to the whites and grays and blacks. These are the colors that we find are most popular, and that's what we're sticking with. So that's Mayfair 108. Pool Party brings me back to summer. This is a blank quilting line. This is a 10 SKU collection, and this one ships in April, so it'll be right in time for you to get a project together for the summer, which I cannot wait for. But here we go. So this is a 10 SKU collection, and as I said, this ships in April. On the far right here, we have the 24-inch panel, and this is the scenic view from the sky of the pool and the backyard. Really nice. And then we have the little different floats. We have some fruits, some lemons and watermelons. And then over here, as a geometric, we did the top of the umbrellas that you use to cover yourself from the sun, some different leaves, these little, I guess, kind of tiles. It's almost like the tiles from your pool, a water design. And then we did those fun little noodles that you use when you're in the pool. And then finally, on the far left, we have a scenic that kind of ties it all together. And then below, we have a suggested 108, which is radiance or infinity. On the back here, we did a bunch of different projects. We did a pool party beach bag, and then we did pool party pillows. I mean, these are so fun, you know, to throw out in the backyard on a chaise lounge or something like that. And then over here, we have the suggested 108s, and we have another suggested project. This is called Pool Party Lawn Chair Pocket. So this hangs right over, and then you can put your phone in, your drink, you know, your checkbook, whatever it is. So that's clever. We never had that before. And that's Pool Party by Blank Quilting. Raking Bake is a new harvest collection, and this is by Lily Ford. This is a 12 SKU collection, and as you know, the autumn lines ship in April. And Raking Bake, you're raking your leaves and you're baking your apple pies, so this has got a bunch of that. So here we go. On your far right, you have the 24-inch panel, and it has that chalk feel, which continues to do nicely. Really fun, you know, and it also has the truck, which does well, but it has all the typical autumn motifs. And then here we have the blocks. These are 10 by 10 with some different words and some of those same motifs. On the right, down here in the bottom, we have the stripe, a leaf print, acorn print, pumpkins, little baskets with all different apples, and then some cider and little tossed apples. And then here we go back to the trucks. Again, the trucks always do really well for us. I guess they're just popular. And then we have the tossed apples, the tossed corn, and then we have a stripe, and then the packed pumpkins. So let's see what's on the back. So the first quilt project is a 49 by 69 quilt using the panel. And then on the back, we make table runners and placemats. And then we're going to show you how big the block is on pattern 1120. And those are 10 by 10, as I mentioned before. And then some suggested basics. You know those by now. And that's Rake and Bake by Lily Ford. Thriller Night is a blank quilting Halloween line. This will ship in April. It's an 11 SKU collection. And this is our second Halloween line. And this, too, will have glow-in-the-dark. We've had really good feedback on the glow-in-the-dark, so we're sticking with it. Here on the far right, we have a 24-inch panel, really scary. We went scary this time. And then on here we have the little portraits, and in the picture frames are all these scary, you know, just scary characters and things like that. Then down below we have the pumpkins. We have a witch flying through the sky. As we move further left, we have the skulls. We have the outdoor scenic of the trees and little, what looks like lightning, spiders, a cemetery print, it looks like little gnomes and with pumpkins behind them, and then these really creepy cat faces. And of course here towards the left we have the Urban Legend 108, and the Quarry 108, which work nicely with this. So the quilt in this line is 57 by 77, and it uses the panel right here. And then here you could see all the picture frames that I had mentioned and what's inside of them. And that's all. It's Thriller Night. Yuletide Botanica by Camilla Creations is the last Christmas line that I'm going to be showing today. It's a 13 SKU collection, and it ships in May. And let's check it out. It's more traditional. So here on the far right, we have a black ground with, you know, a lot of the different traditional flowers and the little holly and these cardinals. And then below that, we have more of the holly and then the poinsettias. And then as we move left, you have the 24-inch panel, which has different offset blocks and different little motifs inside. Really elegant and nice. And then as we move over, we have a all over with which is the same as the one that we had on the black ground, and then the same holly and poinsettias on different color grounds that we had on the first page. And then here we go to the stripes, and then there's a little kind of gold feel swirl on beige and one on black. And then we do these little squares with black and red and green and beige, and they have alternating different little letters that make the word Noel. And then finally, we have another apron design. So this is going to be for the holiday, you know, those that are cooking for the holiday. You could put that together. It's a 36-inch panel, and everything is there that you need to put that together. And then finally, we have the red and white flowers. They look like little peppermint candies, really nice. And on the back, we have the quilts. We have the 77 by 86 quilt, and this looks like a piece quilt. And then over here, we have the table runner and placemats, and we use that. And then finally, you have the stripes, and then you have the basics on the back. That's Yuletide Botanica, and that's by Chameleon Creation Studio. I want to thank you for taking the time to listen to me today. I hope this was helpful, and I wish you good luck selling this or buying this, whichever you may be doing. Thank you for your time. Have a great day. Bye.